It is your voices, your song, that will create the golden honmun.
So, K-pop Demon Hunters is officially the #1 most watched animated film on Netflix. Let that sink in. I mean, it's so crazy that Netflix itself is already calling it their very own Frozen. But if you think that this movie is a global phenomenon just because of the outstanding animation and the amazing music that is still stuck in your head, you are missing on what no one is talking about. I mean, yes, but don't you want to join me to sing on this bus? So I went straight to the source. I asked the writers and directors of the film what the secret was, and their answer surprised me. What they revealed changes how you'll see the movie and maybe how you write your own script.
Let's do this.
The writing of the film is particularly interesting to me. It's so tight, it's so amazingly crafted. There's nothing that is too much. At the same time, you have a lot of characters, you have musical numbers, lyrics in the songs that need to advance the story. I want to learn a little bit about your process as two directors who contributed to the script itself, your relationship to the writer, and how do you approach, if you had to give some advice to a new writer?
For animation, you're just kind of working the script and working the dialogue and the writing to the very end. Chris and I wrote from the very beginning all the way up to the last delivery, crafting every line, every word, because time is so limited in animation, so everything needs to have meaning. So we worked with the writers, Hannah McMeechan and Dania Jimenez. We wrote that first draft together. Chris and I are not labeled as writing partners technically, but we were writing partners throughout the whole process. We would always have 3 to 5 scenes that were okay, these are the next things going into production. These have to get ready by X amount of time. And we kind of categorized them and prioritized. We would split the work. So he would take half the scenes and I would take the other half. And we would do our first initial pass. We swap, do a pass over it. If we needed to meet and talk about big changes, then we would do that. So it was that kind of a process for us.
Genius.
A lot of the writing, we do it in the edit bay. That's where you see the movie get created and see the movie up. And when things are cut together, there's pacing issues and things that you see with the edit. And so we come up with a lot of new ideas, but also new lines in the edit bay. That was kind of our process. And because of that, it's actually kind of my favorite part of the process because you're kind of forced to think really quickly and make changes. And you could make those changes really quickly. We just run to the other bay, record a line of scratch, and that gets processed and dropped in. So you kind of build this thing almost live, in that session. So it's really exciting for me.
What would you say was the main challenge, story-wise, something that maybe wasn't clicking or was particularly challenging for you?
I think from the start, Maggie had a really clear sense that she didn't want this to be an origin story movie where you watch these young girls as trainees and see all of their early days and the forming. She wanted to meet them in their prime and have it be a story about something that's unfolding, maybe when they feel like they're at the peak of their career already. As soon as she said that, I was like, that's really interesting. That's kind of what I would rather see than training. And we actually boarded a lot of that, I guess you could call it origin story stuff. And the movie just kept kind of rejecting it. We'd cut it in, as Maggie said, in editorial. You'd watch it and you'd want to be interested by it, but it was this is not what this movie needs right now. And so what we ended up with on a writing level that was really tricky was in the first 15 minutes of the movie, we needed to not only establish original fantasy rules, which are pretty weird, people use music to fight demons. We had to get the audience to buy in on that. So we had to introduce these characters in a way that whatever their backstory is, it's entertaining and interesting enough that you want to spend the movie with them. Basically, I want to be around these 3 girls for 90 minutes. Also, and this was the last piece to click, we did need to know something about their origins. And that was something that there were multiple screenings and the audiences kept wanting to know a little bit more about the girls so that they could empathize with them and connect to them. And so it was right at the end when we figured out that the golden song could be not just a plot point, the next song the girls need to sing, but basically a biography of a little zero to hero story, which meant that you could just get enough of a story of Mira and how she felt before when she was kind of a black sheep and an outsider, and Zoe and Rumi, all of them had their kind of vulnerable sides. So to be able to wrap that up in this pop song and get it across 15 minutes into the movie when you really do need to buy into them emotionally, I feel like I was hoping that would work, but I was totally not sure if it would.
Oh yeah, that was a total Hail Mary.
Yeah, I'm so proud of it, and it seems really smart. Like, yeah, and then we planned, and I'm like, we kind of planned it, but we kind of just like tried to solve it at the last minute because we knew we needed it.
Has a K-pop Demon Hunter sequel been officially announced? With everything we've learned about the girls, there was still so much that had to be left out. But just because it was cut doesn't mean it's gone for good. Now watch this video to hear what was left on the cutting room floor that might show up in a possible sequel. I'm Pietro, this is Write for Animation, and I'll see you there.